Not if it's a bug right there. That is a roach. I don't know about where.
I'm reading Luke, and this is Luke chapter 1. I'm reading about Elizabeth's joy. Elizabeth is the wife of Zacharias, who was the king of Judea and the father of John, right? So Zacharias and Elizabeth was both getting old, and they was concerned about if they was gonna have any kids. And this is something that kind of happens in the Bible. I believe our father Abraham also went a long time without having kids. The children that he ended up having, his wife conceived, was also like a big deal, like a miracle in the word. Now, this is happening with Zacharias and Elizabeth, right? And I want to read where it says, and it came to pass. So this is Luke 1, verse 23. And it came to pass that as soon as the days of his ministration were accomplished, he departed to his own house. And after those days, his wife Elizabeth conceived and hid herself 5 months, saying, Thus have the Lord dealt with me in the days wherein he looked on me to take away my reproach among men. Her reproach among men. To take away my reproach among men. This is what she said. So this got me thinking. Shout out, GCS, my boy. He was saying, we was talking about this the other day, how, all children are not a blessing. And it's kind of like when you think about like a funeral, these funerals, and it's kind of like how we say at the funerals, everybody who dies just goes to heaven. We already know the concept of you dying and going to heaven and all of that. That's not happening regardless, but to say everybody's just going to heaven is kind of crazy. So it's a similar thing to that. It's a similar thing to that going on with this whole with this concept of all children that are born are just gifts and blessings and all of this type of stuff, because the Bible actually says that there's going to be women, seeing these single moms was going to be actually raising up demons. And that's because of obvious reasons, the lack of a family structure, the lack of a father being in there. Not to say all single moms are doomed and can't. There's no, but there has to be a masculine, a positive masculine influence in the vicinity. But that's not even the point. The point is, Elizabeth is rejoicing because despite everything she did in her life, she didn't feel like her reproach was accounted for. Like, she didn't feel worthy in the eyes of the Most High. And this is a family they was serving the Most High. They was serving the Most High. The Most High literally said that he was pleased with Zachariah. How Zacharias was blameless. So this is the woman that a blameless man is afforded to. So it's safe to assume they were in good standings, but she still didn't feel like her reproach among men was accounted for and taken away. or it was, she was green until she had his seed, until she got the honor and privilege to carry on a man of the Most High's legacy. That's heavy. He dealt with me in the days we're in. He looked on me to take away my reproach among men. That's fire. So I say that again to say, when these women or these people, these people going out, having children out of wedlock, just having, ain't even about the wedlock thing. I don't even want to say that having kids out of wedlock, because people instantly get to thinking about proposal and all of that type of stuff. I actually believe that once certain lines get crossed, y'all technically are married, but that ain't the topic. I'm gonna say people just loosely, kid, like not even in situations where there's no kind of family structure. Let's just say that, where there's no kind of family structure, somebody's out of the picture, single moms, no dad around, no nothing, like all of that type of stuff. We know what healthy look like, and we know what healthy don't look like. I shouldn't even have to get into all of that. The fact of the matter is, if your kids, I'm gonna say this to the ladies, if you have a kid with a man who is of no influence, no positive influence to the kids, and that means really a man of the Most High, a man of God. I mean, we got to just call it for what it is. If you're not dealing with a man of God, then your kids more than likely are null and void. And I think women know that. I think they feel that. That's why I feel like that's why they always trying to find content. They trying to find this level of contentment that they not gonna find, because you ain't got the seed of a man of God. That's how they get their reproach really taken away. Ain't that something? They have to have the seed of a man of God. This is a woman who, no shade, ladies, no shade, but this is a woman that I am inclined to believe probably had a more pleasing upbringing and a more pleasing life to God than a lot of these women we can say today, right? Why do you say that? I mean, I kind of already mentioned it, but she is the wife of a man who is blameless. The Most High, he was considered blameless. Zacharias, John's father, was blameless. Where it say that at? This Luke 1:6, and they were both righteous. This is talking about Zacharias and Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, blameless. Like, bro, this is Elizabeth we're talking about. She didn't sit up there and she ain't say, oh, I'm walking in all of the commandments and the ordinances, I'm serving the man of God, we both doing that. It's GG. She didn't feel worthy until she carried a man of God's seed. She didn't feel like life was completed. That's end game. That's end game for the ladies. If you don't have the seed of a man of truth, a man of God, a man who's going to lead that family to the promised land, and have little soldiers running around doing the same, on their way to do the same thing, if that ain't your family structure, I'm sorry. How do I tell you? I don't even want to tell you. That's such a heart-wrenching reality. That's a gut twister right there. Yeah, that sounds like a house built on sand. If you anything outside of what I just described. So everything else is cope. Everything else is cope. And it's not the end of the world. I just have to put these things out there for people to really realize where a lot of these people stand in on the chessboard, I guess you can say. These single moms is looking like pawns to raise up the ones who's gonna sit up there and fuck shit up, for lack of better words. The scriptures say it though. It say that these women is gonna be raising up demons. Yeah, it's cooked. And like I said, I ain't even trying to be the one to say this, but you know, they say there's 67% of single black women. Like, when it comes to black women, it's like over 60%. It's like single moms, bro. Real talk. Real talk. But let's move on. Now, look. Simultaneously at the same time as Gabriel, the angel Gabriel is telling Zacharias that this is all gonna happen. He telling him like, you're good, don't worry about it. You know, you gonna have a son he gonna be great. But Zacharias like, I'm already old. Like, we both old. What do you mean I'm gonna have a son? How is this gonna happen? I love how the angels is coded to like, kind of like address these things, because you know humans is gonna have like doubts. Humans is gonna be like, oh, how I'm gonna do this? How I'm gonna do that? That don't make sense. I can't. Like, we be trying to rationalize things with our mind. Gabriel respond and just say, don't even entertain what he's asked at all. He said, how should I know this? He said, how should I know this is true? I'm old and stricken in years. Gabriel respond and say, I'm Gabriel that stand in the presence of Yahuwah and am sent to speak unto thee, to shew thee these glad tidings. And behold, thou shalt be dumb and not able to speak until the day that these things shall be performed, because thou believest not my words, which shall be fulfilled in their season. He just told him like, hey, he's like, how do I know this is gonna happen? It's like, I stand in the presence, I'm Gabriel, I stand in the presence of God. You won't believe it till you see it, but it's gonna happen. It's like they not even entertaining. Like, it's not gonna be like, oh, surely it's gonna happen. And like, they're not trying to prove nothing to you. We're just letting you know, yeah, it's gonna happen, and that's it. But it kind of happens again, because I don't know if I mentioned it already, but simultaneously while Zacharias' family is having an encounter with Gabriel, well, actually Gabriel just goes on to go to the speak with Mary. And I also want to mention this, because people be playing with Joseph. They be playing with Joseph, bro. Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, right? To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. Like, come on now. And espoused means to basically be in agreement with a person's belief. So this is not like she's not even, they're not praising Mary for being a strong, bold, noble, boss chick, did it without a man. The Bible is not coming at. Mary has favor because she is under the influence of a good man. She's under the influence as a young woman. She's like, when it's talking about her being a virgin, it's talking about her being young. This is a young woman who's already influenced by a man who is Joseph, who also happens to be in the house of David, who is a descendant of King David. Come on. Espoused. This is just talking about her being in alignment with Joseph. She got Gabriel, about to holler at her and tell her, her future. And it says, and the angel came in unto her and said, Hail thou that art highly favored. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. So Mary is blessed among women. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at him, saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name, obviously it says Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? So the language is a little different. She said, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? She like, I don't even have a man. Like, what do you mean? How am I gonna give birth to this great man and I don't have nobody? Like, she like, I'm young, I don't have a man. What you mean? So obviously her and Joseph is not acquainted on that level yet. So that's why I had to go back, because I'm like, okay, a spouse, if she not acquainted with him yet, then what is a spouse? And that's when I seen, okay, a spouse she just in agreement with his mentality. They not even locked in yet. She just in agreement with his brain. And that already put her on, because she had the right one. She had her eyes on the right one. Damn. Full circle. Ladies, you have to get with a man of the Most High, or your life is literally a vapor. I'm sorry. We got an elephant in the room. Ladies, you have to get right with the Most High, or your life, you're not in the book of life. So you're faded to black. You're faded to black. Let's go. But